Okay. So our first big story of the night, and one that I feel like we've done 100 times before, okay? 100 times before. And this one's going to go up on YouTube tonight. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to click subscribe. I appreciate you. We'll be getting a lot of views, not so many subscribers. Stick around. We cover a lot of stories. So anyways, guys, once again, he did everything right, and they indicted him. Now what? What does that mean?
I did everything right, and they indicted me.
What does that mean? Well, Fulton County, Georgia, is planning an indictment of Donald Trump for his conspiracy to overturn his loss in Georgia. We knew this was coming down the pipeline. We talked about this months and months ago, okay? This was before any of the indictments. We went down a list of all the things that could possibly happen. So we knew this was coming down the pipeline, but it's finally happening, okay? And it is good stuff. So let's take a look at a couple things here. Police in Atlanta have closed the street in front of Fulton County courthouse ahead of possible indictment of Donald Trump. DA Fani Willis has said she will announce a charging decision by September 1st in the probe of Trump's efforts to overturn his 2020 loss in Georgia. Let's take a look.
CNN's Nick Valencia is in Atlanta. Nick, you're seeing some new signs. Fulton County is preparing for an indictment against Mr. Trump. What are you seeing?
That's right. Security preparations have really ramped up here, Dana, in the course of the last several weeks. They've been putting up metal barricades here. We understand some of these plastic barricades that they've put up, they've filled with water to make them harder to move. And of course, part of these ramped up security preparations have to do with the countless threats that the Fulton County DA has received since leading this investigation. Over the course of last year, some of those threats, Fani Willis says, have been credible. She's spoken about it publicly, saying that she's needed to change her own personal security detail. Of course, the rhetoric coming from the former president does not help that. He's called Fani Willis a racist. He said that this investigation is politically motivated, and now we're seeing road closures around Fulton County Courthouse, Pryor Street, this road right.
I mean, okay, so the district attorney is getting a lot of threats because of this possible indictment. The validity of these threats, I can't really speak to. I would say that they probably are nothing, because the Trump supporters are spineless losers, and they have run away with their tails tucked between their legs after the January 6th. But they are prepping heavily for this indictment.
In front of the courthouse has been shut down. I mentioned those barricades. We're seeing a heavier than normal police presence. And there is also this letter that Fani Willis sent to law enforcement agencies around Fulton County, telling them to be prepared for the potential of an indictment to happen anytime between now and the end of the month, or September 1st. There is currently two grand juries seated here in Fulton County. One of them is going to be tasked with hearing the evidence gathered by the special purpose grand jury. Remember, Dana, they handed over their charging recommendations in February. It will be that evidence that the grand jury looks at to decide whether or not indictments will be leveled here and Trump will be arrested and indicted for the fourth time. Dana? For
the fourth time. This is so awesome. That's so many, dude. He's the world's most indicted man. He's the world's most indicted man. And the worst part, he did everything right. Also, we should take a look at this. Fulton County Sheriff asked whether Trump could get a mugshot. Hear his reply. Listen, if Trump gets a fucking mugshot, if they take him in there and they take his mugshot, I'm about to go full liberal. That's like, I'm gonna go liberal soy face about the Trump mugshot. I'm not even joking. I'm just warning you guys now. Content warning: I will go lib soy face if Trump gets a mugshot. Meme to all hell. Yeah, because he made his own. Hold on, he made his own mugshot after the first indictment to sell merch. And it'll just be so funny that there'll be an actual real one. This one. He made this. He made this and was selling t-shirts of it. And so it'll just be so funny that he'll have an actual real one. He'll probably like take that his real mugshot and sell he'll sell merch with it on there for sure, because I mean, I have my own mugshot. I don't know if I saved it. Poggers, you should save it. That's new stream merch. Okay, let's see what the sheriff had to say about a possible mugshot.
Sheriff, we've seen the former president arraigned in multiple criminal cases already. Unlike most court proceedings, the former president has been able to skip the mugshot process. A lot of Americans have asked the question, why? Why is he being treated differently than other Americans who might get caught up in the same kind of situation? You said last week that Trump will not be given any special treatment in Fulton County. If that is the plan, if that's the case, how are you going to handle taking a mugshot of the former president? Is that what the public should expect to see, or any of the other folks who may face indictment in that case, if that comes to pass?
Well, first and foremost, we will follow our own policies and procedures. We simply don't treat or give any leniency to just because of your status. Ultimately, there may be a court order that his lawyers may ask for. There may be some alternate thought processes around that, but we'll stay focused on our policies and procedures. And if mugshot is warranted, we'll follow that person.
Listen, totally says, I don't want to do it, but if everyone doesn't stop behaving like this, I'll have to indict everyone. Guess what? You can't indict me because I've done everything right.
Policy and procedure as well.
But no special treatment for the former president, if that happens.
No special treatment.
I did everything right, and they indicted me.
Exactly.
We, again, as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of high-profile cases here in Fulton County and Atlanta. And so, again, we treat everybody equally.
Holy shit. Okay.
The former president's lawyer.
Stop. He didn't outright say it. But he said there will be no special treatment for Donald Trump in Fulton County. So that means that he will have to do the same things that everybody else does, including a mugshot. Let's go. The most indicted man on the planet is going to have a mugshot. That's going to be so sick. Do you think he's going to dress up for it and shit? He's probably going to make like a whole, he's going to make a whole thing about it. It'll be pretty awesome. I have to watch it live because he's going to be like, they're indicting me again. Look at them. They're taking me away. Don't let them do this. Rush the courthouse. Oh my God. Oh man, that's fucking awesome. Okay, hold on. There was one. There was two more bits of news as it pertains to Donald Trump. Let's take a look at Meatball Ron and what he had to say about the 2020 elections. I hope he really gets the same treatment so he looks like shit beforehand. Well, he'll have time. He'll get a time to show up to the courthouse and stuff, so he's not going to look like shit. But he might get a perp walk, and he might get a mugshot, and that will be funny enough. You know what I mean? He just says rush the courthouse out loud on live news. Yeah, it's protected under free speech. That's his defense right now, is it's a free speech. Rush the courthouse. Don't let him do this.
So you recently said the election is what it is. You said all those theories that were put out did not prove to be true. So can we just put this to bed so you don't have to be asked about this a million more times? Yes or no, did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election?
Whoever puts their hand on the Bible on January 20th every 4 years is the winner. And I don't think the election, and I've pointed out in that same quote, and I've said this from the very beginning.
Meatball Ron turning on Donald John Trump, who'd be nothing without him. Look at him now, pathetic Rob.
When they changed the rules for COVID, I think that was wrong. I think some of those changes were unconstitutional. When they do mass mail ballots, I think that's wrong. I think ballot harvesting is wrong. I think the Zuckerbucks were wrong. I think the fact that the FBI was working with Facebook and these other tech companies to censor the Hunter Biden story was wrong. And so I don't think it was the perfect election. I remember after a lot of the media was saying this is the most secure election in history. How could it be the most secure with those millions of mail ballots going out? At the same time, at the time after the election, they were talking about Maduro stealing votes on the voting machines or whatever, and none of those theories proved to be true. But here's the issue that I think is important for Republican voters to think about. Why did we have all those mail votes? Because of Trump turned the government over to Fauci. They embraced lockdowns. They did the CARES Act, which funded mail-in ballots across.
This guy is such a clown, dude. He's like, yeah, Trump lost the election, but it's because Donald Trump turned the government over to Dr. Fauci. God, dude, get off the fucking COVID shit. Nobody gives a shit about that. It's so stupid. I don't care about the rest of this shit. But he's openly admitting that Donald Trump lost the election. Not something that he has classically done because he used Donald Trump's popularity and support to gain his position as governor of Florida. But that's not all the bad news for Donald Trump. Here's one last one, short one.
And in another legal defeat for Trump, a federal judge has thrown out his counter-defamation suit against Carroll. He sued her for statements that she made on CNN the day after a jury awarded her $5 million in a lawsuit accusing Trump of sexually abusing and defaming her. Another defamation case is scheduled for January based on comments Trump made about Carroll when he was president. Trump's attorneys say they'll appeal that ruling.
There it is.
I'm about to drop a name.
Shut up, Charlie. Shut up. There it is. So not only did he just get an indictment in Washington, D.C., he's about to get an indictment in Georgia. Okay? Ron DeSantis, his closest competitor in the 2024 Republican nominee, although he's way far behind, but he's openly saying that the things that Trump says about the 2020 election are false, and Trump's defamation suit against the person he was found to be guilty of sexually abusing has been thrown out of court by the judge. Incredible stuff. Really incredible.